This is Mark. Welcome back to my channel, What Burns My Ass. This is a channel where I tell you the things that burn my ass, and then you tell me if they burn your ass too. So, today I'm doing a video that's 4 years old, back to January 6th. The reason I'm doing this is because still 4 years later, during this election where Donald Trump is facing off now against Kamala Harris instead of Joe Biden. And of course, she was forced on the Democrat voters. They didn't actually get to pick her. They pushed her on the Democrat voters by pushing out Joe Biden. I think rightfully so, but I think the Democrat voters should have had the opportunity to pick who they wanted to run for office, not this crazy lady. I just can't believe that they're trying to put in front of the American public that this lady has enough intelligence and enough knowledge to run an entire country. I'm absolutely astonished and amazed that anybody can actually believe that. But this is more about January 6th, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to watch this video, and I'm going to show you and prove to you that January 6th was not an insurrection. So let's watch this video.
These are the pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years. There's a reason for that. But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th. More than 40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd...
See, there you go. All these people entered the Capitol building, but where are the pictures and the images of all the damage that was caused, other than maybe the doors and the windows? Where's the damage? What happened? Where is the pictures of that? They've never been seen because it didn't happen. And this video proves that.
A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful. They were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists. They were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol. They obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Now, that is the quote that none of the major media outlets will ever let you hear. They want you to believe that he said, go down there, break down the doors and kill Congress. And don't let them, steal the election. Kill them, kill Mike Pence. This is what they told you to believe on January 6th. This dispels any of that. He completely and clearly said that we're going to peacefully and patriotically march onto the Capitol and let our voices be heard. Doesn't sound like bust into the Capitol and kill people. Just doesn't. Doesn't say bust into the Capitol and take over our government. Doesn't say that. But yet, nobody ever puts the finger on Nancy Pelosi, even though recently she was caught on video while her daughter was doing a documentary on her life where she openly admits that the National Guard should have been there, and she takes responsibility for them not being there. Matter of fact, recently on Bill Maher's show, he called her out on that, and her head was going to explode, so he quickly backed off. What a wuss, okay? Because he should have held her feet to the fire. She knows that this would have never happened had she allowed Donald Trump to provide the National Guard that day. She turned it down.
Things began to get chaotic. Capitol Police officers fired tear gas into the crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us into this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable fact.
Now, do you see? Nowhere, they actually gave this guy like a tour guide. They tried to open doors for him. But this guy went in jail for years, more than almost anybody else, was prosecuted for this, and he really, I mean, should he have been in there? No. I'm not going to say that any of this should have happened. I don't think anybody should have went into the Capitol the way they did. But do I think they all deserve to go to jail for decades or whatever? Especially saying, if you see this video, this guy really didn't do much of anything. He wasn't busting down anything. He wasn't looking to kill anybody. And actually, he said a prayer. So, come on, really. You have to face the facts. This was not an insurrection. But the Democrats will never let you believe that, because they want to make everything Donald Trump's fault, and they want to make sure that all Democrats loathe Republicans, because they want you to believe that they condone insurrections and they want to take over the government. Yet they're the ones that took everybody's choice away in this last election and pushed Kamala Harris on them. But that is not communism, or that's freedom right there, when it kind of isn't. Anyways, let's go ahead and watch more of the video.
Recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him! Shoot him! It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs need to be sitting in a jail cell.
Chansley is in a jail cell. He's been there for months. If he was in fact committing such a grave crime, why didn't the officers who were standing right next to him place him under arrest? Until now, no one could even prove that even happened. But it did.
So there you go. This is proof that January 6th was not an insurrection. and that Tucker Carlson is not a horrible person, and this Chansley gentleman, not a terrible person as well. He believed, like a lot of other people believed, that the election was rigged. And there's still questions today that had the media answered back 4 years ago, like the question of the gentleman that said that the ballots in Georgia were actually marked, or you were capable of seeing which were Democrat and which were Republican votes, which is against the law. He also proved that some were on certain types of paper and other ones were on different types of paper. And he was a forgery expert for the United States government on counterfeit bills. Now, that's way more detailed than discovering whether or not a ballot is counterfeit or not. And that nobody ever answered that question, or nobody ever answered the question about the gentleman, like I said in my prior video, that drove a truck from Buffalo, New York to Pennsylvania of ballots, supposedly for Joe Biden. Now, none of those questions were answered. Had the media done their job and not stick their biased nose into the situation, January 6th would have never happened. Had Nancy Pelosi taken the advice of Donald Trump and accepted the National Guard that day, January 6th would have never happened. But the news media will never tell you this. That's what burns my ass. That's what this channel is about, is to bring you the truth. Now, should any of that happen? Of course not. Did all the actions that Donald Trump did, was that smart or intelligent or necessarily presidential? No. And I've said that before. This is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily support Donald Trump. My whole purpose of this channel is not only just to bring you the truth, but to also show you what we should be avoiding, which Kamala Harris has absolutely zero plans. Not once in any of the last times that she's been in front of a camera has she actually told you how she's going to implement the plan she has. She wants to give 20 million immigrants amnesty, and then she wants to give them all free health care. And now we have this crazy thing about the pets in Springfield, Ohio. Did pets get eaten? Yes. Did it happen on a large scale? Probably not. But the point is Donald Trump didn't lie. He maybe exaggerated, but a lot of politicians do that. The point being is, our news media is biased. And I am not I'm not 100% on Trump. I'm just not. If there was I keep telling people, if there was a third party candidate out there which I could vote for, I'd do it in a minute. I really liked Vivek Ramaswamy. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through the primaries. So we're stuck with the choices we have. Am I going to vote for Donald Trump? Probably not, because I already know California is going to go to Kamala Harris anyways. So it's kind of my protest vote that I would like to have other choices, because those are the things that burn my ass. With only a two-party system where choices are extremely limited, and all it does is divide our country. Anyways, that's what burns my ass. Thank you for listening to my channel. Please like and subscribe, because it's going to make a huge difference to my channel, and we're going to make things even better than today. This is my first, try at this software, and I think it's going to make me look a lot better than I have in the past, because my prior videos weren't exactly the most professional. But I'm striving to get there. Anyways, keep watching. Please subscribe. Thanks for listening. And always remember, what burns my ass probably burns your ass too.